10,
9, 8,
7,
6,
3,
2,
1.
0.
What is up, Dash League?
Dash League.
Third place. Exciting match for you today. I'm not Gollum. With me in the booth is Willow.
Oh yeah.
And behind the camera, also in the booth, is Quad.io. Say hi, Quad.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And then in the background, we've got One Up Crit just lurking, hanging out with us for a little bit throughout this exciting third place match that we have for you. Arc versus Team Name. Some killer teams.
Arc versus O,
Or,
buddy.
oh my gosh.
Arc versus
We're
O.
off to a fantastic start, aren't we, today? I need to get a little bit more sleep, I think. Arc versus Other. Two fantastic teams.
Oh yeah. Really exciting. We got many giveaways here going on during this stream as well. Really exciting for everything. Thank you, Satan Slayer and One Up, for giving some nice stream game keys that we're going to be giving away during this third place match. And then at the end, we'll be announcing the tiered All-Stars awards for all those amazing people that got some nice votes in, some nice All-Stars.
Hell yeah. So, Arc today and Other, both of these teams fighting for third place are in the third and fourth seed overall in terms of MMR. So far, this finals tournament has kind of lined up pretty well with the MMR ranking system, don't you guys think?
Oh yeah. I think everything has worked out really well so far, and I think these teams definitely deserve to be here, and I'm really glad to see that they're up at the top.
Yeah. Over on Arc, as far as people on the scoreboard goes, we've got Castle, number 10 in kills overall throughout the entirety of Dash League. Over 1,000 kills. Absolutely dominant. Over on Other, we have Servo, who's number 8 overall throughout all of Dash League for interactions. We don't see them in the lobby currently. We might see them later on. We might not, but both these teams have some killer individual players. I know Lazarus over on Other also is known to be a very powerful killer, very fast dasher as well. .com, known for his fast dashing over on Arc, used to be on Other earlier in the season, changed over before the roster lock was finished up. It's going to be exciting to see a lot of these individual players and also a lot of this team coordination interact. Because these two teams also have backgrounds in a lot of different maps throughout the season. I believe Other has a lot of preference for playing Launchpad and Waterway, which are the two maps that are going to be played today. They have a lot of background playing it throughout the season.
Lucky for them.
And Arc, meanwhile, has also played a lot of Launchpad and Waterway. They played Launchpad against Other, and they won a very close Launchpad map earlier in the season against them. So I would put the preference on Arc winning this first map a little bit in their favor because of that. Although, things could have changed in that time. There's definitely a lot of room for team coordination strategies, rosters to switch up. It's a decently sized season, so I'm interested to see if there's any surprises in store for Team Other here.
Oh, I surely hope so. I mean, you know, not to discount Other at all. Other's an amazing team. They're killing it. They've been at the season for a long time. A lot of these players super veteran, and you know, both teams they know the game, they know the strategies, they know what they need to do. Let's just see how we see it come to fruition today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I would definitely say Arc is favored to win here, especially on Launchpad. Launchpad is typically the easiest map to break through checkpoint on. And both of these teams have been around since Season 0, but this season, Retro has really stepped up his game. And then we have Odd, who is like the glue that holds Arc together, and Castle, who's kind of like the pistol sniper in the back. It's going to be a real challenge for O today.
Yeah, definitely.
On all of these maps, yeah. Right,
yeah,
go.
Castle, very interesting. A new recruit over on Arc side. Not only a new recruit, but he's a captain as well, taking the charge on a lot of strategies coming up. And he's a relatively new player compared to how veteran a lot of these players are. So I think that's a really interesting choice by Arc, and I think we might see it come out really well today. And here we see the map is starting to roll out.
Here we go. Opening up with
Dash lead.
Other on red and Arc on blue pushing the cart. And then after the timer runs out for Arc and they've pushed as far as they can, or they make it to 100%, we're going to be switching colors for Other to be on blue, Arc to be on red. Here we go. 10 seconds until we start it up.
Hoo-hoo. Absolutely. You can see at the top there too, there's a little blue dot under the percents. That's how many players are standing on cart. The more players on cart, the faster that cart goes. As soon as there's a red person on it, it doesn't move at all. Here we see the game is starting. We already see one person gets taken out. Outsider shooting his teammate. A little bit of confusion. Gets taken out by some nice shocks there. Oh man, it looks like a lot of hold from Other side. Already got taken out this early on.
Now they're completely wiped at this point. There's one other player left in the house near the cart who's now going to be 1v1ing, 3v1ing with the people left on cart. It looks like Arc put on a little bit of an offensive, but may have slightly overextended, or maybe not. Now that Other has gotten wiped once again, there's no pressure on the cart.
Oh, Odd getting into the back lines all the way into their spawn. We can't quite see what's happening over on Odd's perspective, but Outsider trying to roll out the same position. Looks like he's getting pretty safe. We see the cart in the bottom right-hand corner is just kind of cruising right now. Pretty uncontested. Outsider getting it taken out. I think that was a trade. But man, we already see that the cart is at the top of the hill, so Arc is making great time right now. Other is really struggling to shut it down.
Yeah, this is pretty much what Arc does. They have a really good rotation on both defense and offense on the payloads. And so you'll kind of see them once they get a clear, they'll blitz up and then make it very difficult for you to set up a defense. I mean, O has a lot of good killers, but Arc is just really good at positioning themselves in places that make it incredibly difficult to get back to cart, even if you do win the fights. You can see Outsider, he won a fight, but he wasn't able to get back to cart. Now the cart's almost at the bottom of the hill, 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, so they're about 30 seconds ahead of time now.
Yeah, bottom of the hill at 4 minutes being the league average. So, I mean, this thing is absolutely cruising right now, and you make a good point, Quad, that they just have really good team coordination here. Arc really knows where to stand to perfectly counter Other rolling out, even if Other doesn't know where Arc is standing.
Although, that being said, if Other has some strong long-distance rockets able to set up with the rest of their teammates pushing forward to try and give them some cover, this is the point in the map where they can suck a lot of the time away from Arc. Although, that being said, they haven't been able to set up any of those explosives that I was talking about just a moment ago. Only just now starting to get control of the cart. There's still a few Arc members flooding in, and Reefer looks like was going to go for rockets, but Callie took it instead. I believe Other has a lot of players who are decently proficient with both kinds of explosives, both the rockets and the shocks.
Yeah,
and normally you'd expect that to help them here.
Yeah, look, they got two on cart. This is...
Ooh, things are looking good for Arc so far. I mean, getting a nice little double stack on the cart. Oh, they get a nice clear on Other side. Now let's see if they can hold this clear, get a nice setup, and try to counter even further pushes from Arc. Usually with this insane spawn advantage that we see from Other side, teams can get these solid holds that last multiple pushes. And it looks like we might be seeing something like that right now. Reefer getting a nice kill, pushed up with the rocket, really aggressive rockets. It doesn't quite get a second kill though.
Yeah.
And now we see a nice group up by Arc side. They're probably going to push cart here in any second.
You know, they might be able to make checkpoint with this one. They got 5 coming in all at once. Yep. So
Oh!
took out rockets.
2 kills by Reefer. That's huge.
And a third goes down on the cart. That might be a total annihilation of that group up from Arc side. Man, that was a really good play by Other there. That was exactly what they needed to hold Arc off for, you know, as long as they possibly can. It's not looking good for them not to make checkpoint on Other side, but if they keep getting holds like this, they might be able to hold it down for another minute, maybe even 2 minutes.
I like this position that Reefer is taking, far in the back with minimal view of the cart itself, but really that's all you need if you're a good enough Rocketeer, is minimal view of the cart and make sure that none of those fast-dashing Arc players can catch up to you, which is what's happening right now. Although that was a very good dodging by Reefer. Oh my goodness.
He matrixed those bullets.
Now
Oh,
he's just
man.
going back for health. He's setting up once again in the far distance. It looks like some of his teammates
we
got
go.
taken
They're
out,
coming
but
in.
he's keeping cover on the cart, forcing Arc to move forward all the way to his position if they want to get any sort of significant movement.
Oh,
might
and
be
that's
it.
exactly what we see. Oh, they're so close. We saw one of them go behind, push
Yep,
the rockets out of
checkpoint. Is this
position. Once the rockets are out of position, yeah, they get taken out. This might be checkpoint. Oh, this is so close. Nice little rocket by Reefer there. Just keeping pressure on cart. Can't quite get a solid hold though.
I liked that follow-up by the other players, giving Reaper some of his space to shoot rockets off the cart and just blindly hopping on so that blue team, Arc, can't move it. As long as there's a red player on the cart isn't going to move. You gotta clear those red players. So that's a very good strategy to have for later on in the map. But now that Arc has gotten checkpoint and the spawns have moved, Arc has a huge spawn advantage, which, as we saw from pre-checkpoint, gave them a lot of time, a lot of space to set up and put a lot of pressure on Other and not really give them any sort of chance to even approach seeing the cart. We're seeing that right here.
Absolutely.
Yep, so now we see Arc kind of trying to take control of this triangle in here. They're just trying to get control of the shotgun. You can see, even with their rotation, it's hard for O to get to the cart. I don't think the cart's really stopped very much.
Yeah, it's stopping right now, but I think Arc just regained control.
Yeah. They
a nice little
they're
double
really
stack.
successful at making the fight in the most inconvenient place with respect to whatever your objective is. So that's one of the strengths. I think that's what Odd does really well.
It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of skill to be able to know where each engagement needs to be happening relative to the cart, because you want that cart to be as uncontested as possible for as long as possible. Even someone being able to look at cart from the enemy team is something that you don't want to happen. And we see that Arc is in the bottom right corner with that drone. We see that Arc is doing an amazing job flooding multiple people around it, making sure that the eyes of the enemy are off the cart for as long as possible. We see Castle doing an amazing push towards those rockets right now. Gets a nice kill. That's 2 Other down, 3 Other down. It looks like Other loses their complete hold of this area, and Cart is moving right now. Lateralis being the only person left, and Cart is able to just be gliding up this hill right now. Now, they did make checkpoint with 1:30 left, which means that they get that whole 1:30 in addition to the 6 minutes they got for making checkpoint to try and make it all the way to 100%. So Arc is making some amazing time right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're kind of getting to the place where you can establish a triangle hold on defense. It's looking a little bit tough for O though. Arc has been doing such a good job of making it difficult for O to get anything set up. So O has a chance to kind of hold in this area. Some teams are really successful at that, but I mean, it's really hard against a team like Arc.
Arc is a very solid team.
And I think that's a big reason that Arc is doing so well right now. Of all the things we've talked about, I think the fact that they're not giving any sort of explosives on other side a chance to set up is giving them a lot of opportunities to play around the cart with just pistols versus pistols. And if Arc's able to even slightly outkill Other there and not let Other set up with rockets, then there's not a whole ton that Other can do besides just fight Arc directly. They need to somehow figure out a way to give space to the rockets to set up so that they can hit the cart and have the rest of Other focus on just either defending those explosives or putting Arc in those convenient positions that they've been so good at putting Other in.
Definitely, especially this season. This season, we've seen the meta shift more and more to basically as many rockets as you can get up reliant. Like, you know, just having multiple explosives, putting pressure on the cart, even if no one is standing on it, you're basically telling the enemy team, hey, we're watching this. Hey, we're exploding this. You know, that you cannot stand on this and be safe. And if Other can't even get one Rocketeer up to actually shut down the cart, it gives Arc a really good chance to push forward, get that cart moving, and Others. It does have some nice movement now, though. They got a single Rocketeer, and Lateralis trying to get a nice flank here. Can't quite pull a kill off, though, and gets taken out by Ichigo.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that makes Arc such a successful team, we used to joke about them and call them like a team of clones. And basically what that means is you have like 5 pistol mains, and if you look at the skills from this team, you see like 5 people who can pretty much long range and close range you, and they're all pretty interchangeable. You don't really have like the dedicated cart person or the dedicated rocket person. They all kind of do the same thing, so they're so versatile in it, and that makes it really hard for a team to, you know, knock them out, because if you knock out one person, just someone else, whoever responds, can take that role. And that's, I think, what they really work on as a team. It's a little different with .com added now, but that's pretty much how they've been as a team for the most of their existence.
And that's a really solid way to be.
Yeah, even still, .com is adding a really interesting aspect in the games I've watched so far. Also interesting to see Odd set up with the shields there. That's something we've been seeing slightly more often nowadays when the pushing team loses the spawn advantage. They start to get a player with a shield who can survive a very long time, and hopefully the rest of their teammates can get the kills that are necessary.
Definitely, definitely. Lateralis trying to get another disruption here. Gets taken out totally, though. We see a nice group up by Arc here. We might see some cart movement getting on soon. We see those rockets are way in the back line, super far away, as protected as possible. Maybe a slight disadvantage to his ability to hit that cart, but that just goes to show how important the survivability is. And we can see here they totally countered that amazing group up by Arc there. Other did an amazing job. Lateralis trying to get another flank here. Lateralis, he knows what he wants. He wants to be behind Arc, and he wants to give them a lot of pressure. It hasn't quite worked out these past couple times, but if you can push forward fast enough with how these group ups are going, Lat can really take the same fight twice. He can push up, he can get behind, he can deal some damage. Even if he doesn't get a kill, he's putting pressure on them, and then he respawns in 5 seconds, and it takes 5 to 10 seconds for Arc to even get towards cart. We can see that Arc has had a group up for a while here, but they haven't even touched cart because they're trying to figure out how perfectly to push forward, take out others' defenses, and then get some serious cart movement.
Yeah, and
Although that
like,
being said,
when
they're
you see
starting
a
to
team
move
like
now.
Arc doing their group up, they're looking at if they can get some picks from afar. And once they get 2 or 3 picks, then they kind of push up. That's kind of one of the things, some of the things like that do, they'll count. They're like, all right, we got 3 picks this one. So that's probably what they were doing there, trying to wait for a couple of long distance picks.
It's also important to note that they made it around the corner now. That gives them protection from others' spawn, which is very significant. Usually that's kind of the goal. If you think you have the chance to make it past that that pipe that's in front of Odd there, if you think you can make it past there, then your goal is to make it all the way around that corner. From there, it's a lot easier, surprisingly, to push it further than it was before then, because Other can't see you from spawn.
Definitely. It buys you a few seconds, and I know a few seconds doesn't really sound like a lot, but this is one of the fastest paced games I've ever seen. And a few seconds can be a lifetime. If you're riding that cart and you have that shield protection from their spawn, you can take really good defensive positions and get that cart riding. We see the cart's at 93%. Usually when 2 teams are completely equal, you'd expect the cart to hit about 86%. That's kind of the average of where these hold this huge spawn advantage that red side gets. It makes it really hard to push past, but we already see that Arc is at 93%, so Arc is making amazing percentages here. Even if they're not making it all the way to 100%, it's going to be really difficult for Other to make it this far.
Yeah, and Other's been putting up a really good fight here. Arc is typically thought of as the stronger team here, but they've held them from getting 100% with time left, so they still have a chance actually to win.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
Alright, switching sides. Here we go. Other on blue pushing the cart, Arc on red. We'll see if Other is going to be able to replicate that first area, that first zone, as I like to call it, push that Arc was able to do so well. Basically uncontested in this first area around the house. If they're able to do that, then I give them decent chances of actually making it both through checkpoint and up towards a point near where Arc did. Although, if Arc's able to get any sort of stoppage here, that could be a sign that this is going to be a more difficult fight for Other.
Yeah, definitely. I would be very interested to see if this intro area is same for both teams. I have a feeling that since Arc is the better killing team, it might not quite be. We see Castle taking some nice defensive positions here. Oh man, already I think that Arc is doing a better job as the initial red side than Other was at this time. Castle getting a nice kill, gets taken out though. I think that's 2 or 3 Arc already down. Ichigo with some nice SMGs though, but the cart is moving. Or it was for quite a while, so even though they're getting all these nice picks, that what they really need to do is make sure that cart is shut down non-stop, which it is right now, but Other's doing a great job of replacing who's on it.
I also like those rockets that are set up in the shield room from a high position. They keep popping up just to shoot, hopefully just enough to curve the rockets down onto the cart, and then popping back away. Although at this point it seems like Other's starting to regain a little bit of composure here. Good flank by Odd that was very timely, and now there's no movement on the cart, and they can just continue to fight in the house until eventually getting wiped out. And .com is still alive!
Oh man.
Looks like they just now got taken out.
Yeah, it looks like O's just falling in behind like by 10 seconds right now. They still can make it up, but it looks like Arc's doing a decent job shaving time off.
Yeah, and you know, that's not really what you want to see if you're Other. You know, right here, Other has the insane spawn advantage. kind of the ball is in their court, and if they're already kind of falling behind Arc, that could potentially snowball later down in the map. We see Odd doing an amazing shield work here, shutting the cart down even just for a second or two. All of these things add up. Ichigo getting a nice flank, and look at this, Arc is already getting a nice little hold here, shutting down that cart entirely. These little seconds, they really add up. If this cart's getting shut down for 5 seconds each time, man, that can be the difference between making checkpoint or not.
Yeah, and at this point, Arc was already around the corner, basically.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Down the hill, actually. So others a little bit behind, but they still have a chance. It's not... They got a good clear.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And we see that they're at bottom of the hill.
Advantage.
Yeah, definitely. Bottom of the hill here, we see it's at, I think it's about 4 minutes and 8 seconds or so. So they're still technically ahead of the league average. So Other is still making a really good pace here, even if it's not quite as good as what Arc was making. Other is doing a good job pushing here, but man, we see some nice rockets and shield play by Arc here. It's going to be hard to break this hold.
Yeah, especially with a lot of these flanking positions that players like Retro are starting to take, and with the shield on cart. If we remember, Other never really had an opportunity to not just have a player on the cart, but a player with a shield who can survive so long. The shield, in my experience, is something that is really bad until suddenly it's incredible. Once you get to a point where you can like consistently block any amount of bullets, you become a huge target that everyone wants to shoot but nobody can kill, and that gives your teammates a lot of opportunities to either rocket the cart or drop down from above like Retro's doing. You can see the setup on Arc is pretty consistent. Once they get a wipe on Other, they set up in very similar positions to every single hold that they've been doing, and just try and replicate what's been working so far.
Definitely. We're seeing a really solid hold here, though. I mean, already at this point, Arc was nearing the checkpoint, and they were using this last minute or two just to make that checkpoint. But they haven't even made it under the SMG bridge, which is where the hold gets really, really hard to push because it's just so insanely close to the enemy spawn. And the pickups are really close as well. So .com getting some really amazing rockets here. It's only 1 minute until Arc had already made checkpoint at this point. So let's see if Other can make checkpoint in less than 1 minute. But honestly, I really doubt it. It looks like Other's going to be trying to fight for this checkpoint at all. And when they make checkpoint, then it would be a lot more difficult for them to make it as far as Arc did, because they'll have probably a lot less time.
And this is a very good push by Other so far, though. That was very timely killing of both .com, the main Rocketeer for Arc, and also Ichigo, who was flanking into Other's spawn. And they've made it not just past the bridge, but almost past the ramp. With a little over 2 minutes left, they have a pretty decent opportunity of making it through checkpoint here.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Things are looking pretty solid. Nice little group up. It's kind of taken out, though, from the flank. Ichigo trying to get some picks. Not quite happening. Let's see if this movement gets mobilized towards the cart, but it looks like Arc was doing a really good job of, again, taking these engagements away from the cart. They're saying, I know you want to be at this cart. I know you want to move it. I know you want to at least see it and clear it. We're going to make this fight as far away from it as possible so that you can't even consider jumping on it. And that's a really solid play by Arc here. But it looks like, a little bit of cart movement, but an amazing rocket by .com there. You saw in the bottom right corner. Looks like 4 Arc are respawning right now, though. Let's see if Other can kind of mobilize on this. But, oh, man, it looks like Arc is getting a really solid hold yet again. That was insanely fast. Look at how quickly they all got to their positions. Arc knew exactly where to stand, and it only took a matter of 3 or 4 seconds.
And while we're here, can we adjust the elephant shoulders in the room? I mean, are you guys seeing this from Ichigo's POV? Are those his shoulders on the screen? What is that? What's going on here?
I'm trying to fix it. It won't let me switch to another person or out of this view.
It also looks like Other lost a player, so there could be something weird with the server at the moment. But that's really unfortunate timing. Okay, they just got their player back. Hopefully this is the push that they're going to be able to make it. I like them using explosives, since Odd has been so adamant about having a shield on the cart. Explosives are one of the best ways to take out shield players. It looks like that push just got countered, though. And now Arc is going to start to go on the offensive. Ichigo especially, we've been seeing pushing up into Other's face pretty consistently. You counter a push, take a position forward, counter a push again, and then move forward all the way into Other's face. Although at this point, Other got a little bit of movement, and they're still continuing to get movement. I like that dodging by Reefer, and there's still Lazarus left alive. That shocks by Callie was good, but Ichigo spotted exactly where she was hiding and was able to take her out and stop that push.
And it looks like Arc takes this map. The Other couldn't even make checkpoint. Man, amazing job by Arc there. That was so close to making that checkpoint, though.
Yeah.
Other was so close.
Top scoring and top killing over on Arc is Ichigo, 7,800 points, 75 kills, 37 deaths. Is that a 2KD? I'm not great at math, but that seems like a 2KD, which makes a lot of sense. They were disrupting like a madman this entire map. Callie
Absolutely.
over on Other, 6,100 points, 53 kills, 61 deaths. Making really good use of that shocks during that map. Now we're moving on to Domination.
Yeah. Oh man, amazing job, amazing map. Man, that was a really fun watch, and I'm sad that Other couldn't checkpoint there, but man, was it close. Both teams did a really amazing job, and I'm glad to see that these are the teams that are fighting for third place. So right now, you know, Arc gets to take one map, but we still got it's a best 2 out of 3, so we still got this Domination map. Domination, kind of similar to King of the Hill. Where you have to control 3 buttons and hold them all down for 3 seconds, and then once that's you have each button for 3 seconds, you get a point. First to 3 points wins, and if Other can take this, then we'll go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this map, especially for Other. I think during the season, like 75% of their games have been on Launchpad and Waterway, and they've achieved some pretty good success. I mean, even considering that they're the 4th seed, they deserve to be here, and they've kind of done that so well because they've been able to play these 2 maps so consistently and really develop a definite strategy for these. So I'm looking forward to see how they play on Waterway, especially players like Callie, who are very good about playing around the buttons that you have to control during the map. It's kind of insane to watch because to some extent it's hard to tell exactly what they're doing so well. But I think if Other has any opportunity to take a map and bring it to control point, this is it. This is where they need to bring it home. Arc, meanwhile, definitely still very solid on Waterway, has a very good record on this map and on Quarry, the other Domination map as well. Some very fast dashers. .com especially we can expect to be rushing straight into Other's base very quickly. So it'll just be a matter of playing this out. It's hard to predict exactly how this is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you can never really predict these things perfectly because some teams, they really they know that they're against a hard team and they stick it to the books. I mean, I've definitely seen teams that they know they have a hard matchup coming up, and so they just practice. They change their strategies entirely. They watch a bunch of matches, see what works, see what didn't work, and they, you know, in a matter of even 1 week, they can bring out a completely new strategy. And that can totally turn the tides. We've seen it happen before multiple times in the history of Dash League. And I would love to see if Other put some serious commitment in and time in and is going to try to take this Domination away from Arc. But Arc definitely is seeded to win this one just because they're such insane killers. Thank you, everyone, by the way, for being here in the chat. We do have some giveaways to give between these 2 maps. Right now, we've got Zero Caliber VR and Detached, both Steam VR keys. And I think both of those are thanks to Satan Slayer, possibly one up coming in too with that one. To enter these, all you have to do is type in chat. So if you've been lurking in chat, you haven't been saying anything, go ahead, just drop something in, and you have a possibility of winning one of these amazing games. We'll have more games after the next map as well. And you know, we can announce those once the second map is over. But you know, more reason to stick around, more games to give away, more things to see. And thank you everyone for joining. I mean, Dash League is amazing. Hyperdash is a great game. I love it. But, you know, sometimes it's nice to get some variety in your life, get some new games getting in. On top of that, we've also got, I believe, I was just told, we've got an extra mystery Steam key that even I don't know what the game is. I know, for the best or funniest comment in chat. So if you got a nice joke or you got, you know, something really nice or entertaining to say, go ahead and drop it because you might just win a game for it.
Yeah, looking forward to those comments. And guys, I mean, come on, let's keep it professional jokesterism. Smart comedy is the best comedy, and exactly. I'm sure you guys can think about it for 5 seconds instead of just 0 seconds when you go in for this.
I love the confidence that you have for the Dash League viewers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know my community. I love all the people in Dash League here. That's why I stick around. Really, it's the community of people that keeps you in, because the game is so solid, and there's only recently been so many maps, but it used to be just a very small map pool too, that it might seem repetitive from the outside, but I think so many factors go into making this such an amazing game that people will put hundreds and hundreds of hours into and still have a great time. And when it comes down to it, it's the other people you're playing with. Whether you're talking in game or just people playing differently and coming up with new things get figured out all the time. New metas, but also just new ways to play, places to be. People get good enough at certain weapons that they become viable too. And the dev team for this game also has been very active and has their hand right on the pulse of the community, knows exactly what's good for it. And that's why we're here today, commentating on this match between Arc and Other. Both these teams been around since season 0?
Basically,
since
yeah.
the alpha days?
Other has been around in name and spirit since the beginning. Arc has been around in spirit but not in name since the beginning. Originally, it was called 4DV, which stood for like advanced. 4D was like Odd's clan, and it was one of the largest clans in Hyperdash. I think it had like 500 members at some point, mostly young kids during the alpha days. And so they had 3 teams. They had the lowest team, which was 42D2, and then Vader was kind of the medium team, and then 4DV or Advance was their top tier team. And the main crew from 4DV has sort of morphed into Arc. But now this is what we're seeing here. I think the only original Arc member here today is Odd. I mean, most of this is Onyx and .com.
Rest in peace, Onyx.
Yeah.
Onyx being a dominating team of last season that left as quick as they came. They came in, absolutely destroyed last season, and then disbanded. A lot of those, as we were saying, members went over to Arc and other top teams.
Well, yeah, and I think both teams have had sort of a rebuilding this season because, I mean, you have to remember this game started really in like 2020. And then most of the original players kind of came from the original quarantine when there was nothing to do, right? So you had adults who had nowhere to go, no jobs, no nothing, and you had a bunch of kids who had basically no school for months. And so everybody played Hyperdash like all day, every day back then. And that was sort of like the genesis of the league. But now as life is reopening and people are going back to work, we've seen both teams have some attrition where people just kind of lose interest or they have to work more. And so both teams this season have seemed to had to rebuild. I think both of these rosters have changed a lot. And they've done pretty well with the incorporating their new additions. But, you know, it is always a challenge when you have to rebuild half your roster in a season.
Yeah, kidding.
Definitely. Speaking real quick of the giveaways, looks like in chat, the people controlling the giveaways, things are going to close in 60 seconds. You got to drop something now if you want to be included. You don't got much time. If you want these amazing games, again, I'll read them out right now. Zero Caliber VR and attached Steam VR keys. Just drop anything in chat. I think you probably only got like 40-30 seconds right now. So let's get it going. Let's see something. I want to see some nice messages in this chat.
Yeah. And so far we've got the caster signaling that we're ready. We've got all 5 of the other players now in lobby once C2 has joined. It looks like at this point that Arc is not switching up their roster very much. Other, meanwhile, has switched out both Servo and C2 in for this second and potentially final map of the 3rd place Dash League Dasher Tier Championships. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully that's a switch that's in their favor. These players, I'm looking forward to seeing whether they specialize on domination maps a lot. I mean, considering that Servo is number 8 overall in all of Dash League for interactions, I give them a decent chance of taking this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see how it goes. And here we see the map is starting out. Some nice pistol sniping by Arc already, 2 people up. I think both of these teams are kind of pretty well known for having a lot of pistol sniper rotation. Other is known for having like 3 or 4 people up pistol sniping at the same time sometimes. And it looks like Arc is really putting some people up, getting some nice zoning as they try to go and take space. Waterway, definitely a game of aggression. It rewards people who push forward, get into the enemy base, make the enemy uncomfortable, and start taking space even if they're not getting kills. So pushing forward, taking space, doing what you can is really solid, especially when you have people behind you backing you up with these pistol snipes.
And speaking of pushing forward, .com basically solo in Other's base until he got followed up by one of his teammates. I think Castle is either pushed up or set up in a pistol snipe position. And .com is still over in Other's base, waiting for the right opportunity to strike, trying to steal resources away from Other. He knows how much that they like to use shocks, Callie especially liking to use shocks, and is now using that against them. Both by using the weapon itself, but also taking it away from them. Other, meanwhile, was in Ark's base, only just now getting taken out, and now only having control of B. Ark has control of their own button and of Other's button. This is pretty close. This is pretty back and forth. Other doesn't quite have solid control of their own base. What are they going to do?
Oh, yeah, let's see if they can pull it through. Oh, getting a nice little button hold there while you're holding the button. The end cannot press it. Looks like .com tried to spawn camp a little bit with some explosives. I love seeing that. .com blasting. That's the fast dashing we're talking about. We see .com blast through 5 dashes all at once, immediately getting up to that button. Trying to hold it down. Doesn't quite work out for the score, though. Other's doing a great job of keeping things under control even while people are in their base. Other right now only holding B, but we see Lateralist in the enemy base. Gets a nice kill. Going to use that. Now we're going to see a countdown from O. See, Lateralist is going to hold this button. This might be a score.
Oh, wow, that's a great counter.
Not quite. That was a good counter by .com. Last second, but I think with how fast they dashed, they knew how much time they had left in order to take that back. And probably felt decently confident as long as they didn't get taken out. Most of the time it seems like Ark has been pushing forward into Other's face, and Other meanwhile has had to have a lot of practice on the defense during this map, and is just taking opportunities that come for them. Lazarus has been pushing through the high rail a lot, and we also see Callie pushing forward into Ark's base pretty often. I also liked that circle back to be on the defensive to make sure that Ark can't set up any sort of significant push into Other's base.
Definitely. By the way, Quadio, it looks like game sounds are a little quiet. I don't know if you can turn that up a little bit. Looks like chat can't really quite hear anything, but yeah, definitely. So far things are really exciting. I mean, with Domination, I feel like either you see it's done in 2 minutes or it's done in 20. And sometimes it's really hard to get these middling ones that take a little bit. Things go on, happen between. We're seeing some really good control by both teams. Look like Lateralist is probably fixing his controllers or putting his headset back on or something here. Something that you only see in VR, and I think that's kind of part of the charm of VR and why I love it. But it looks like Ark gets a score while he was, had his headset off. I didn't even notice.
Point right there. Wow.
Oh.
That was a good play by Skibo in the bottom right screen. And now Ark's going to go on the offensive once again. One other thing to consider about how long or how short these Domination maps are is that a lot of the time players and teams can kind of get used to the other team's play style. For better or for worse, they can kind of get into a flow of back and forth that either is a perfect amount to get a second score very quickly and get into your opponent's heads, which it seems like Ark is doing right now, or go back and forth and eat up a lot of time on the map. But that might not happen. Other needs to change something up very quickly if they don't want to get scored on for the third time ending this map. It looks like they're playing very defensive to guarantee that .com can't do anything, but Skibo is able to sneak in during that time of looking around for .com, who is now popping up at the perfect moment.
Oh, nice counter by Other there, though. Quad, by the way, this looks like Arthur wants you to check your DMs, fix up about the stream. But man, yeah, we're seeing some really good people in the enemy Ark in the enemy base, multiple of Ark securing Other's base, and this kind of goes into the mental games we're talking about, where even if things are you're not immediately getting scored on, it's really hard to leave spawn and feel safe and feel comfortable to get a group up or anything, really any big plays to happen while you're getting scored on or multiple people in your base like that. It really affects you, but we see some nice kills going on other sides there. Skibo coming in, might be the only Ark left. Yeah, and it looks like finally Other clears out their base. Let's see if Other can give the same momentum that they've been given by Ark this whole game. Turning it around, we see 2 Other on the minimap trying to enter Ark's base. But not quite working out, and it looks like Ark has multiple people here on B, and we might see another push of Ark into Other's base. This could be a score here any moment. Things are really close. Ark is putting the pressure on. They're not giving Other any space to breathe, which just makes everything more difficult.
Another thing you're seeing here is a lot of drop shotting, which for those who don't know is a technical thing that's really important to keep in mind at this high level of play, that it slightly compresses your hitbox and makes you a little bit harder to hit. You also don't have to use any dashes in order to drop shot, so you're moving without dashing at a very quick speed with a smaller hitbox. You'll notice players on this map especially that has a lot of prime real estate for drop shotting is going to happen a lot. C2 going back home on the defensive. I don't know if I like that move necessarily. This is a game of aggression. It seems like Arc is well aware of that, and others is trying to put on the aggression. But now that they're on such a back foot, that they're on match point with no points on the scoreboard for themselves, are really trying to guarantee that Arc can't get any scores here. But meanwhile, they still need to get scores of their own. Other isn't playing for MMR here, they're playing to win or to lose. And at this point, if you just play defensively, you're just going to get scored on. You're not going to be able to score them.
Oh!
That's it.
And that's going to be it. Congratulations to Arc winning the 3rd place seed. Man, amazing job by Arc there. Let's go ahead and look at these scoreboards, Colin.
Ichigo, top scoring over on Arc and overall in the... No, not overall in the lobby. That title goes to Cali. Ichigo has 6,400 points, 20 kills, 14 deaths. Cali, meanwhile, 10 kills, 21 deaths. Definitely not a killer in this match, but a button presser. 6,700 points in this map. Very good at objective play here. It just wasn't quite enough to win them the map.
Yeah, gotta say, Odd got robbed here. He was just 100 points behind. 32 kills, 10 deaths, man. He was definitely going off that map.
More than a 3 KD, though. That is very impressive. Great
Wow.
showing by both Other and Arc during this match. You can see why these teams are in the top 4 here.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations to Arc, but you know what? Congratulations to Other too for making it to 4th place. You know, that's no small achievement. There was a lot of teams this season. There was a lot of players this season. I mean, literally hundreds of players. So to make it up in the top 4 and top 3, I mean, that's an incredible achievement. Congratulations to both teams for making it. Also, I've got some games to give away here, so don't quite leave the chat yet. Let's see. So for the first giveaway, Persona. Congratulations, winning both Steam game keys. Again, Zero Caliber and Detached Persona being the winner. Amazing job. Congratulations to you. And then Snarples won the mystery key for why does Dracula always bite people in the neck? Because he's a necromancer.
Oh.
I love that. That's good. Amazing. And Snarples, you won Electronauts VR music, again, Steam VR game, a VR music game. I can't say that I've ever played Electronauts, but that does definitely sound interesting. For your game giveaways, I believe you're both Dash League players. Go ahead and hit up One Up Crit. He can drop his credentials in chat, and then you'll go ahead and win your games. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. That was an amazing game, and I could not be more proud of either of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure, guys, to tune in to finals. That's going to take place, what is it, in 10 minutes? Or is it in 40?
No, it's in 40 minutes.
In 40 minutes, yeah. So 5:30 EST, we're going to be doing the finals, so be sure to join us. Good game, Arc. Good game, O. Hi, Midnight. Hi, Servoid. And hi, Schemos. What's up, guys? Also, love you too, Satan Slayer. But that wraps it up. See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you all for joining.